What has dimples, flakes, and more olive oil than you can shake an olive branch at? It's focaccia, and it's a no-fuss favorite in the world of baking. The word focaccia is derived from the Latin word for hearth, which refers to the fact that it was originally baked in coals. Before going into the oven, the dough is coated with a generous slathering of olive oil, which gives it an ultra-crispy crust. It's almost like an oven-fried bread. A liberal sprinkling of flaky salt on top is standard, but it's often topped with herbs or grated cheese as well. The characteristic fingertip indentations prevent large bubbles from forming on the surface, and they also provide little hideaways for the toppings to settle into. The equipment for today's recipe is measuring cups, a small spoon or spatula, a large mixing bowl, a large spoon, plastic wrap, a rimmed baking sheet, and a pastry brush. The ingredients are 1½ cups of lukewarm water, 1 package of active dry yeast, 4 cups of unbleached all-purpose flour plus extra for kneading, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt plus extra for sprinkling, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil plus 3½ tablespoons for drizzling. Combine the water and yeast in a measuring cup and allow the yeast to bloom for 2 minutes. Mix the flour and salt in a large bowl. Add the olive oil and bloomed yeast. Mix with a large spoon until the dough comes together in a shaggy mass. Then use your hands to make sure all the floury bits are incorporated. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead until the dough is smooth and firm, but still soft, 3 to 5 minutes. Drizzle some olive oil in the bowl and turn the dough in the bowl to coat it with the oil. Cover it with plastic wrap and let it rise at room temperature until doubled in size, about 1½ hours. When dough is resting or rising, the exposed portion develops a kind of skin, sometimes referred to as a gluten sheath. This helps maintain the surface tension on the dough, making it easier to form into a smooth, seamless shape. Recipes often give specific instructions on handling the dough to maintain the gluten sheath, but they usually won't mention it by name. Now, on with the recipe. Drizzle about 2 tablespoons of olive oil onto a rimmed baking sheet and place the dough in the pan, skin side up. Gently stretch the dough toward the edges of the pan. Drizzle the remaining oil on top of the dough and continue stretching it, creating an even distribution of dimples with your fingertips. Cover the dough with plastic wrap and allow it to rest for 30 to 60 minutes. Preheat the oven for 15 minutes before proceeding to the next step. If your dimples disappeared during the rise, add some more. Use a pastry brush to dab the olive oil in the edges of the pan onto the top of the dough. Sprinkle generously with kosher salt. Bake on the lowest rack in the oven until the top is golden brown and the bottom is golden brown and crispy, about 20 minutes. Allow to cool for 5 to 10 minutes, then slice and serve warm. This recipe is truly versatile. You can use it as a base for pizza, turn it into breadsticks, or sprinkle it with cinnamon and sugar for a breakfast treat. It's a blank slate that's always good to have in your back pocket.